LinkedIn kept us guessing this year and the plot twists were wild. Here are my 5 plot twists that I think will shape LinkedIn marketing in 2026. G'day everyone, it's Coach Michelle J. Raymond, your trusted guide for building your brand and your business on LinkedIn. And 2025 on LinkedIn, what a year, my friends, what a year. It has been mind-blowingly crazy just how much things have changed this year. Honestly, I don't think any of us ever expected for it to turn out the way that it has. It's been twist and turn after twist and turn. Feels more like a Netflix drama most days. But the question is, what are those twists and turns that you need to pay attention to as a marketer going into 2026? Because some of these plot twists have been significant and will impact what you've been doing. Speaking of watching shows, I was watching a 90s fashion documentary, and Anna Wintour, who's the editor of Vogue, everybody knows who she is. And one of the things that she said in one of the episodes, and I'm not going to quote her exactly, but she basically said with fashion, if you stick to what's tried and tested, you'll get left behind. And I think that no truer word has been said when it comes to LinkedIn marketing strategies for 2026. In today's episode, I am going to cover the 5 plot twists that I think will have the biggest impact on your marketing in 2026. Let's talk about plot twist number 1, the reach roller coaster. Never has there been a year where I felt more uncertain about what's working and not working when it comes to LinkedIn content. And there was a very obvious shift away from reach, i.e. the number of impressions that you get on your post. And, there were some days where I was thinking, do I even know what I'm doing? Because I would try things that I thought should work and they wouldn't. I would have posts that I put so little effort into take off, and there didn't seem to be a rhyme or a reason into what was happening. And no particular type of content was resonating more than another. And so it really made me lose my way for probably 2 months, maybe 3 months all up. I'm just putting it out there, listeners. If you felt like this, I'm human just like you. And yes, I play on LinkedIn all the time and I'm learning from the best people around the world and I'm experimenting with my clients to try and find out what's working. But honestly, when LinkedIn changed the rules of the game completely in June with no warning and really no guidance onto what things we would see would have the biggest impact, we had to piece all of that together. We saw the move away from impressions. LinkedIn then came out and said it's about relevance. So they would say that your content's not being seen by as many people. It is seen by more of the right people. I can't see any actual impact on my business or the inquiries that I get through LinkedIn being any better since they've effectively chopped things in half. So I am dubious about that because at the same time, they introduced a feature where I could pay to boost my posts. And so the cynic in me, yes, I do love LinkedIn, but it doesn't mean I have blind faith in everything that they do. But ultimately, I think that boost feature and the timing of that coming out just made everything feel a little bit suspect to me. The upside to this is that I like the idea of moving away from impressions long term. LinkedIn have given us some new analytics which left clues into the direction that they're trying to make us go. So things like saves, things like sends, these are the kinds of things that LinkedIn are now looking to for more clues around what your audience are finding valuable. So going into 2026, I think we really have to think about what is the type of content that your brand or you personally can create that other people find so valuable that they're going to hit save. Now, that's one piece of the puzzle, but what else are you going to mix in with that type of content so that you get the reach as well? What we find on LinkedIn, whether you like it or not, is those personal kinds of posts will always get more reach. It is just because we are humans supporting other humans. There are people out there that take it to the other extreme with their rage bait posts, like those those will take off because we all want to jump on board something and share our opinions, and everyone's got one. And so from that perspective, it's really quite interesting to see what kinds of content will work. How do we measure success? I think that is going to be where most people, especially marketers, are going to have the biggest problems going into 2026. You have to go beyond just measuring impressions. I know that they're the easiest, but here's what's going to happen. You are going to get measured in comparison to the previous year, which is how most KPIs work. Everybody wants to see growth. And effectively at the same time, while you're improving and getting better and listening to all the great advice that you get from the podcast and implementing those changes, at the same time, the algorithm significantly has moved the other way and is actively working against you to have those big numbers. So we have to do things differently. I think plot twist number 2 is going to be the one that is going to have the biggest impact on your marketing in 2026. Plot twist 2 might have been the one that I definitely didn't see coming to the extent that it landed, but the one that I'm most excited about, and that is the power of comments, both for your company page and also, of course, on our personal profiles. Over the time that I've been working with my clients and training them over the last, 5-6 years, I have always said to them, it's not just about posting. Get out there and do comments. That's how you'll increase your visibility. And the main problem that I had with that when I was working with clients is they would then come back and ask, well, how do we measure that, Michelle? And I could never give them analytics. It was just this arbitrary, trust me, I know what I'm doing. It's good for you. Get out there and do more of it. Now, of course, when somebody's paying you for training, they want a little bit more than just trust me. Now, the good part is that LinkedIn, with this plot twist, number 2, gave us comment analytics. So we can now see the impressions that we're generating out of the comments that we're making. And I hope that we'll be able to see analytics for this on company pages as well. It's a prediction that I've got for company page premium for 2026. I think it will move into there with some better analytics. So fingers crossed from me on that one. But now that we can measure it, and hopefully that does get easier, like I said, but now that we can do that, I think that the power of commenting has just leveled up, because from all accounts, from lots of different people that I follow, what's actually happening right now is comments are getting more impressions than posts. I'll say it again, comments are getting more impressions than posts. That is mind-blowing. That is such an easy win for brands and individuals, because you don't have to take the time and effort to create the actual content. So effectively, you could drop down the amount of time that you're investing in putting posts out there, increase that time in putting comments out there, and I think it will really build relationships and build your visibility. And both of those things are exactly what people want from their marketing on LinkedIn. So commenting must be a part of your strategy in 2026 to a whole new level. When I was at Social Media Marketing World and speaking at Uplift Live and also the Link Summit in Denmark, I shared with everybody there the power of page advocacy. And some of those steps were about getting your page to proactively go out and comment on posts that are out there in your industry, on your topics that your brand wants to be known for, and really contribute to conversations. Now, at that time, it was hard because we didn't even know the value of commenting as much. But my argument to the audience was, if your page isn't out there commenting and you are just relying on it showing up in the home feed, you're going to hear crickets, right? You can tell when you scroll on LinkedIn that company page organic posts, i.e. not paid sponsorship posts, are not showing in the feed pretty much at all. So from that perspective, by commenting and being proactive, You can get out there. It could be commenting on employee posts. It could be commenting on your customers' posts. It could be commenting on your distributors or manufacturers' posts. Like there's so many people that make up your industry and other pages that contribute. So get your page active and out there in the game. Let's get into plot twist number 3. Plot twist number 3 that I'm not going to say I didn't see coming as such, but I never expected the impact that it would have and that there would really be this much of a significant shift. And plot twist number 3, try saying that quickly, is all about the pay to play, i.e. premium products being now available on company pages and personal profiles, and seeing exactly what's being included in there. I've got videos that are up on my YouTube channel that I've created not that long ago, within the last 12, 18 months. And back when I created them, when people would say, Michelle, should I have a free account or a premium account or a sales navigator account? I would strongly encourage people to stay on the free accounts until they came up against something that was blocking them from getting the results that they wanted. Now, I have noticed as somebody that's super active and wants to be contributing on the platform by connecting to other people, building community with content, these types of things, I found it pretty tricky to do that without having a premium account. So that for me was a signal that things were definitely changing. Historically, free and premium, there really wasn't that much difference. But we're seeing LinkedIn more and more pack things into premium. There's another video that I put out there on YouTube, a former podcast episode that I've done on company page premium. And just last week, an update with Zoe Beaumont, and we were talking about pages premium. I actually think for pages now going forward, if you can afford it, and I'm not talking to consultants out here, I'm talking to brands with employees and teams, but if you can afford it and have the budget, I think company page premium will be a must for 2026 if it's available to your page. Now, there are some limitations. I believe from everything that I've read that company page premium is only available to small and medium-sized businesses and not at that enterprise level. Now, I'm trying to get some answers out of LinkedIn. No one there can tell me what the cutoff is, but I promise you, as soon as I find out, I will come back and report on that. So stay tuned. And if you're not subscribed to my newsletters already, either my LinkedIn newsletter or you can go to my website, b2bgrowthco.com/newsletter. And that's where I share a lot of the tips first that I don't share anywhere else on LinkedIn or on the podcast. If I was to summarize where I see premium for personal and premium for company pages, I would say now, if you look at your company page, like a landing page, like we discussed in last week's podcast episode, if you miss it, go back. We go into this in detail. If you want it to be viewed as a landing page and work in that way, then you need company page premium on your page, and you get access to a number of different features that are going to help you with that. And probably the thing that also stands out is getting your page verified. You can only do that with a paid account if you didn't get it done already. So the, carrot that LinkedIn are dangling there for people to test it out, but definitely worth a go. So that's a change in how I see things. Premium for individuals, I don't know. The jury's still out for me on this one. I still say stick with free, like I just said about probably 5 times until you come up against the roadblock and then level up. But please don't be someone that is just paying for it, thinking that you'll get more reach from your posts. You don't. There's a lot of things that are built into premium that are useless, not going to make any difference. The AI features, they're just not worth it. So from that perspective, don't just pay LinkedIn money for no reason. I'd rather you save that up and come and do training with me or get your profile sorted. These kinds of things will actually make a bigger difference. Now it's time to go into plot twist number 4. Plot twist number 4 is I believe that social selling on LinkedIn got harder, and I can't entirely blame this on LinkedIn, but with the rise of AI and automation tools that are off the LinkedIn platform that go against the user agreement and are still in existence because LinkedIn's legal team hasn't gone after them and shut them down as yet, Those tools have created a tsunami of unwanted, untargeted rubbish that is making it so hard for us to reach out and connect with people and actually have them respond, that I find probably the most frustrating thing that's happened in 2025. Has it existed for longer than that? Absolutely, it has. We could put engagement pods into this section as well. We have seen people trying to get around the user agreement probably since the beginning of time, getting around the limits that LinkedIn have put in place to make LinkedIn a better place for us all to hang out. Those things really irritate me if I'm saying things nicely. And I was trying to think of what word I would use, because it's definitely beyond irritated. And you guys have been listening to this podcast for long enough to know how I feel, so I won't get on my soapbox today, except to say, as marketers and people doing social selling on LinkedIn to grow your business, you need to be mindful of this. You need to be really mindful that when you're sending messages to people on the other side, they have probably already been bombarded, their walls are up, and they've had enough. So you better come fully loaded with value that is targeted at them, having done your research, and build rapport first. So actually spend some time getting to know these people before you fire all guns a blazing with everything that you want to sell to them. So rapport, then we move on to trust building. Then we can talk about, have we got a product or service that will solve a problem or challenge that that person has? Yes, it takes time. Yes, it might be slower, but I promise you it will work even better for you. So just be mindful that even if you're not breaking the rules, there are people, and a lot of them, that are out there doing that. I was excited to see that LinkedIn have come out on record saying that they're doing things to break down engagement pods. I can't wait. I would put AI commenting in those kind of categories as well. And I'm so excited about this because I've even been given an email address by LinkedIn that I can send to their trademark attorneys, the actual companies that I am being approached by personally that are trying to get around these guidelines. And I can effectively go to them and say, here, these people are out doing the wrong thing, and, raise that with those teams. And I'm very happy to do that. I'm very happy to raise the flag and bring that to their attention. I love the LinkedIn platform. I have a lot invested in success for myself and my customers on this platform. And I want it to be fun for everyone. I want it to work for everyone, and just not those people that are trying to get around the system. So from that perspective, plot twist 4, I think, yes, things are harder. Does that mean it's impossible? Absolutely not. I just want you to have more empathy for the people that you are looking to buy your products and services. What is a day in the life for them on LinkedIn really like? And especially the higher up the food chain with the job titles that you're all chasing after, really slow down and think, what have you got that can really make that person's day easier? And if the answer is nothing, you're just adding to the noise, well, you know how I feel about that. Plot twist 5 is something that, if you go back to the podcast this time last year, I would have a very, very, very different piece of advice for you. And this is all about video content on LinkedIn. And if we go back a year ago, people were getting millions of impressions. I had a client that I'm working with right now. She said, Michelle, I want you to create some video clips for me so that I can post more video and have them go crazy. I got millions of impressions on a couple of videos last year. Can you do that for me? And unfortunately, I had to say no. Video didn't turn out as big and as amazing and as great as those signals had shown us in the last quarter of 2024. As much as LinkedIn have been out there spruiking it and telling us how amazing video is, they couldn't even figure it out for themselves. We saw video feeds coming and going, the way videos were displayed changing, and I still don't love the way they show up in the feed. And honestly, they then took away everything they'd been testing. The reach, i.e., the impressions on these videos, really wasn't anything that was exciting. In fact, they're probably less than our normal posts and far more effort, in my personal opinion. And this applied on pages and profiles. And so from that perspective, for those people, like honestly, if you're relying on things like ChatGPT to write you a LinkedIn strategy for 2026, it will say LinkedIn video short form because LinkedIn puts so much out there to promote video on their platform. It was crazy. Lots of amazing stats and all these reasons you should do it. But the reality is, if you listen to that, you are not going to see the results that you hope. Now, that's not to say you can't repurpose that video content onto other video first type platforms, like whether it's YouTube or TikTok or even Instagram with reels and things along those lines. But in my experience, the format that they promised and how amazing it was going to be, plot twist, certainly didn't end up like that as we get to the end of 2025. Does that mean you should quit all things video for LinkedIn in 2026? No, I don't think so. But if you were planning on going really hard on the platform, which I have seen some people, and that's what they're planning to do, like honestly, just do it for a short period, test it out, see what results you get with your community and clients. Let me know how it works, because I got a really bad feeling that people are going to sink a lot of time and effort and resources into making videos that really could have been spent elsewhere and getting more return on that effort. And so it's been interesting. It's not one that I would have thought that LinkedIn would have let it drop as much as what they have. But honestly, I think the more LinkedIn tries to be like other platforms, instead of doing what LinkedIn used to do really well, which is be a professional platform for networking where we could stay in contact with our network easily, they've now moved into this discovery platform. Maybe this is a bonus plot twist, but I don't think LinkedIn's a networking platform anymore. I think it's a discovery platform, and that will have a big impact on what we do in 2026. So things like if you haven't got your LinkedIn profile updated and optimized, you need to make that happen. That's your job over the break. If you are someone that doesn't want to do it yourself, well, ta-da, of course you can reach out and I can help you with that. The other side to it is our content. The more it speaks to an audience and is optimized for a particular audience, I think it will help your content be discovered by new people that you haven't reached in your network. So that's completely different to nurturing relationships with people that you're connected to. They are my 5, or should I say 5.5 plot twists that happened on LinkedIn that really changed the way that our content is measured, how we connect and grow our community, and also how we measure the impact that we're having. So many big changes. And I know that it probably at times has felt like nothing you ever did is working and that LinkedIn's against you. And my advice for people, having thought through this for a few months now, it's not something that I just magically woke up and everything was all good, but it's actually demanded that I become better at LinkedIn marketing than what I was in previous years. That I couldn't just rely on things that were tested and tried and I knew would work with my eyes closed. I now have to put in some more effort, but I'm rewarded for that effort. I'm also rewarded for staying consistent and keeping on going. So if you have kind of, taken a step back and said it's all not worth it, I totally get it. I've been there. I've done that myself. But I honestly think that if we take a deep breath and think about what is it that we could do most in 2026 to get results for our brand or our business on LinkedIn. And I think that really is coming back to having empathy for your audience, doing a lot of customer research and understanding them in detail. Think about how much effort you're putting into knowing your customer right now. Are you talking to your sales team? Are you talking to your customer service team? Are you really getting those valuable insights that you can turn into great content that really resonates with that audience? I think there's so much that we can do in this space and stop focusing and worrying about the algorithm so much. Like, just let it go. It's out of our control, and focus on the things that as marketers, we know will make the biggest difference. If you get stuck and you can't get yourself out of the funk, just book a power hour with me. I'll work with you to get you back on track, to point you in the right direction and make sure that you're seeing a return on the effort that you're putting into LinkedIn. So if that sounds like a plan, just go to the show notes and you'll find a place there where you can just come and book a call with me and we can talk through what that might look like. So until next week, listeners, cheers.